Test. Testing 1 2. Testing subtitles. Test 1 2. Okay, it's coming.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hate to interrupt. I love to see everybody just laughing together and talking together. It's just the signs of such a healthy community. So I don't like to stop that. But so glad to be here with you all. Our February Fireside chat. And we have a really, really robust Bayard Rustin. By a show of hands, how many people in the room here know who Bayard Rustin is? Oh, you guys are in the absolute minority in the world, I'll tell you that. You know, sadly, I learned nothing of Bayard Rustin in school, not even college, and I was a history major. I didn't learn about Bayard Rustin until I was, well into adulthood, and yet, he was one of the most brilliant strategists in the 20th century. So for those of you who do not know who Bayard Rustin is, please pay attention. He was a Quaker, and he was the one who helped shape the nonviolent strategy of the civil rights movement that is often attributed to Martin Luther King, but it was really Bayard Rustin who introduced this concept. And we know, that nonviolence was the only way that the civil rights movement would have even been successful. He was also the chief architect behind the 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, which really was the precursor for the Civil Rights Act. And, unfortunately, that particular march, 250,000 people coming to Washington was such a strategy. Bayard, he really didn't want, he was a little iffy about people introducing the Civil Rights Act and not really putting enough strength behind it so it could get passed. He didn't want it to continue to fail. And so he thought, if we can get, so many people to Washington to really demonstrate to Congress and the country about how many people cared, about civil rights, that it would really help spark the momentum. But unfortunately, one of the many reasons why many people have not heard of Bayard Rustin is, number one, he worked behind the scenes, but number two, people feared his identity would be a distraction because he was openly gay. Yet, he is someone I have admired since I learned about him because he chose mission over recognition. He helped design strategies that changed this country, even though his name is not even attached to it. And that's the kind of leadership that matters, where the goal matters more than the credit. It's something I just deeply admire. And I've been thinking about Rustin a lot lately because he understood something fundamental about change. I love this quote. We are all one, and if we don't know it, we'll learn it the hard way. And I've been thinking a lot about that because I feel like we are learning it the hard way. He understood that, division eventually costs everyone, and that progress really requires people working together, even when they come from different backgrounds, perspectives, and experiences. Today, you're going to hear from our culture team about values, and one of our values is collaboration. And collaboration is not always about agreeing, but it's about recognizing that our futures are linked. At Horizon House, we are really one community. We rise or fall together. Our mission, our commitment to equity, our financial stewardship, and the culture we create for residents and staff, it's all interconnected. And Rustin showed us that some leaders make speeches, but others build the conditions that make progress possible. They bring people together, they align around purpose, and they create the structure that allows change to endure. And that's the kind of leadership that I hope we continue to practice at Horizon House, choosing mission over ego, partnership over division, and remembering that when we work together, we are always stronger than when we stand alone.
It's me, Erica.
Yes.
Can we raise our hands if there's an empty seat by you so people can come in and get a spot? If not, we are turning on the overflow, so the seating will be outside in the Fireside Lounge.
Pretty full. One. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll have the overflow up in just a moment.
All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and turn it over to Brenda. You can see our robust agenda. We've got a real treat at the very end. We've got a wonderful video for you. And so without further ado, let's get everything rolling since we have a full house today.
Good morning, everyone. All right, well, I would like to share with you our new staff members that have joined us since our last Fireside chat. So in our dining services, we have Mai, Isaac, and Jerry. And in garage, we welcome Devarius and Jennifer. Next, so that concludes our new hires. And next, I want to share with you that we've introduced a new role to Horizon House just recently. The role is our selections manager position. And this role is really helping our new residents that are coming in for the West Tower and selecting the finishes on their new apartments. And so we did actually have quite a few staff members from Horizon House interested in the role, as well as external candidates. And we're happy to announce that Anna from our renovations team has been selected. So I believe her first official day is today. If you see her, congratulate her. And that wraps it up for me. I'm going to go ahead and now turn it over to the culture team.
Fabulous. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. Okay. Well, we're the culture team, and you'll hear a little bit more about that. So, meet the culture team. We are intentionally, a diverse team of employees who all chose to join this team and represent different departments with all different lengths of employment. And there's no members of leadership on our team. So everybody's just coming in and they really wanted to make a difference at Horizon House. And our purpose is that we champion a safe and inclusive work environment where the team is valued and celebrated for what they do best and what we bring every day to our community. And I'm going to turn it over to another team member.
Thank you, Jess. Good morning. I'm Ruth Ann. I work in philanthropy, and I'm happy to be on the culture team. Today we're going to talk a little bit about organizational culture and why it matters. Organizational culture is defined by the values of your organization and how it aligns with the values of your staff. This is important because when staff work somewhere that reflect the personal values, they're more likely to stay at a job and feel fulfilled. In 2024, Horizon House partners a company that helps organizations assess their culture. Drive performed a culture's values assessment that most staff participated in. It asked, what does Horizon House value? What should Horizon House value? And what do you value? The survey asked many specific questions to help us answer these hard questions. With the results of the survey, the culture team formed. We were given an important first task to evaluate Horizon House's core values.
Hi, I'm Deborah from the Wellness Department. And we as the culture team examined the existing 8 core values, considered what the staff knew and how they felt about them. We thought a lot about the wonderful culture that already exists here and what we wanted to highlight. We also saw that there was some overlap in messaging of the values that could be combined, and that 8 values was somewhat challenging to remember and hold on to. So we are proud to introduce to you our work. So these are our previous 8 core values: caring, trust, stewardship, respect, integrity, innovation, collaboration, and sustainability. And at Horizon House, these are our 4 new core values: collaboration, respect, integrity, and stewardship. Each value has a we statement and an I statement. The we statement is a definition of what the values mean at Horizon House. The I statements are behaviors that we can do as we live fully our days, at work, at home, at play. Collaboration. We all have valuable ideas to contribute. I seek input and feedback from others. I understand and commit to common goals. Respect. We honor the dignity of all individuals. I listen to understand, not just reply. I care about the perspective of others. Integrity. We believe in doing the right thing at all times. I take responsibility for my actions. I communicate honestly. And stewardship. We commit our resources responsibly to ensure the future well-being for all. I use my time and resources efficiently. I choose sustainable options when possible. And to use my time efficiently, I have to go teach.
Great segue, Deborah. So, why now? Well, we are mindful of this every step of the way, which is why we tried to marry ideas of values together instead of casting ones out. They're all together. We presented these values to the Board of Trustees, which includes 3 residents, and before voting their approval, they gave us excellent feedback, which we worked on and incorporated to get these values. So, what's next for the culture team? Now that Horizon House has officially adopted a new set of 4 core values, we have lots of work on the horizon. Over the next year, we plan to promote 1 value per quarter to staff, a cycle that will continue annually until the values change again. We're also planning ways to promote values to staff and residents together through shared mediums like events and visual storytelling displays, because we all make Horizon House culture what it is. And we'll be taking on other projects, like focusing on parts of the staff satisfaction survey where we can make recommendations and impact change. Finally, for the first quarter of this year, 2026, we're putting a spotlight on collaboration. If you see any staff or residents who are exemplifying this value, let them know, hey, nice collaboration, or your collaboration is appreciated. And if you have any additional ideas on how we can best share or reach folks with these values, please let us know. Thank you. And now we're turning it over to
Short commute today. Good morning. Okay, let's see if I can navigate this better this time. It is my pleasure to introduce some of our newest residents. I didn't warn you, but Bob, I saw you sit down. Would you mind just waving? Oh, I did it again. Just waving so everyone can see your in-person face. Thank you. Bob was born in Pasadena, California. He earned his combined BS and MD degrees from the University of Michigan and completed a Vanderbilt pediatric residency at UCSF. Bob is a pediatrician who served in the United States Air Force for 2 years. Thank you for your service. Before a 30-year career at Kaiser Permanente. He enjoys the saxophone, B clarinet, golf, and walking, is a member of Academy of Pediatrics, and has been involved with Midsummer Musical Retreat as a board member for 19 years and president for 16 years. Welcome to Horizon House, Bob. Donna did not feel well, so she asked to defer to next month, for which we thank her. Kay, would you mind just waving? Kay was born in Chicago and moved to Horizon House from Vashon Island. She earned her BA in sociology from Lewis and Clark College and Master of Public Health Administration from the University of Washington, and worked as healthcare administrator in end-of-life planning and historic preservation. Kay belongs to End of Life Washington, ACLU, and World Wildlife Fund, and enjoys travel, classical music, cooking, reading, and movies. Welcome to Horizon House, Kay. And Bob and Jean are in the back. Eric. Eric was also born in Chicago. He earned his BA from Earlham College, Master of Public Health from University of Minnesota, and, as he put it, miscellaneous incomplete graduate education all over the place. You can talk to him to have him better define that. Eric held public health positions in occupational and environmental health, political activism, tutoring, lobbying, as UW clinical faculty and union president. He is a member of the Public Health Association, Earlham College alumni, and ACLU, and has a variety of interests, including live music, art, plays, films, and reading. Jean was born in River Falls, Wisconsin, and earned her undergraduate degrees in journalism from Marquette University and nursing from University of Wisconsin, and graduate degree in nursing from the University of Washington. She worked as a pediatric nurse practitioner and lecturer at the University of Washington and University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. Jean is a member of Friends Meeting Friends, Committee on National Legislation, and the ACLU, and enjoys reading, theater, jazz, classical music, and continued learning. Welcome to Horizon House, Bob and Jean. And, oh my gosh, Eric. Thank you, Norm. Good collaboration, thank you. But I have a full schedule, but I did, in the spirit of collaboration, it's been far too long since the sales team, Alicia, and the rest of the team, Nate, have thanked you for all of your collaboration and your referrals. Something that we say to your friends as they come in and tour is that you're always doing the hard work. Get on the list. Tell them you want to look, for which we are very grateful. We have a unique opportunity from the opposite perspective. We actually have 3 apartments that we have gone through our lists for. Beautiful apartments just don't fit anyone's needs. So we would like to ask for a little more collaboration. The largest is a 2-bedroom and a den apartment. It's going to be a really rare opportunity for someone that's not already actively looking to make a quick move in. A 1-bedroom apartment and a studio. So if you have any friends or any ideas, anyone you want to either have us reach out to us or have us reach out to, we would love to do that. Thank you. And next up is Amanda with an update on resident experience. I know I'm going to get fired from this.
So I need this? Okay. Hi. Anybody know what I'm talking about today? All right. Are we familiar? Elevator signs, right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Horizon House elevator signs. All right, so we're going to start with some data. This is from our 2025 resident surveys. So it's a little hard to read, but here's your elevator signage line here. We had about 250 residents respond to this survey. And so you can see the alert, 244 people get their information, and elevator signs, 223. Super important part of how we get information at Horizon House. It's a good, we're there, we can see what's happening. Good reminders, right, of what's happening today and tomorrow. This was another follow-up question. So again, of our 250, of the communication channels listed below, how do you prefer to receive Horizon House information? And what I'm learning in this is people get things from the alert, from email, and elevator sign, or HH Connect, email, HHTV, word of mouth, the alert. There's we have so many tools available, right, to share information. When I went through all of these, no one solely uses the elevator signs as a source of information, right? It's an extra piece of information or place to get information. I also get a ton of feedback about elevator signage. People want to know why events might not be listed. The alert says one thing, but the elevator sign says another. Those plastic holders, right? They break. They don't fit all the things happening. And there is so much paper. So just so you all know, each week there's about 315 signs posted each week. Each year, over 16,000 pieces of paper. This, my beautiful cart here, is about 4 months worth of elevator signs. It's a lot of paper. It's also a lot of toner, which we don't also think about, which is the expensive part of printing, right? Papers, pennies. Toners, very expensive. And we have all these beautiful color images that we're producing. Also, these are all, they're done through K4, which I think we've sent memos on K4, which is a hassle, but it also requires a lot of kind of rekeying. It takes, Emily, about 4 hours or so. Again, those plastic holders are always breaking off. It's hard to get things in and out. So these are all things that we're trying to address. And I think we just have the culture team, right? Sustainability being another one. So what I tasked our team with was coming up with a concept that's easier to browse events at a glance so we can see what all's happening, when it's happening. I don't want us dependent on a third-party supplier. And ideally, I don't want us dependent only on Emily and Adrian to do these signs. They were both out this week, and I thought, oh my gosh, if I have to get this alert done and get these elevator signs done, you will all be reading things off of an Excel spreadsheet this week. I was terrified. I also wanted something with metal holders that are more durable, easier to access, less breakage. I wanted a concept that got us significantly down to paper. I wanted, like how many signs we don't need to do 315 signs every week, right? And I wanted labor efficiencies for security and communications. I said, Emily spends at least 4 hours doing this every week. The security guys spend an hour plus every night going through. It's helpful, but they could be doing other things that I think everybody would find a lot more value in. So when I started looking at new concepts, Emily and Adrian came up with some. I want you all to know that it wasn't done in a silo. It wasn't me deciding we're changing this. We really did take a cohesive community approach. We talked to the Low Vision Committee, talked to Communications Committee, the Environmental Committee, of course, Resident Council. Ronnie was great, a perfect advisor for me, and also talked to leadership to get buy-in. So I worked this around, and Brian Holtz was a great advisor in this and said, for things to work at Horizon House, we need to bring people on board. We need to communicate what the problem is and why we're making changes. And so I tried really hard to do that when I wanted to look at this. So what we've come up with is kind of 3 concepts. I said kind of hitting the things: less paper, more durable, easy to read at a glance, but that also aligns with what our population needs and making sure it's readable. So I've got 3 different concepts. I'm just going to quickly click through here. So something similar to this. So really super. This is the low vision and hearing preferred time, event, place, and then it's got that little resident council bug in it, so things that are paid for by the resident council. Got some feedback that color's really nice, so maybe we won't be doing full color for everything, but if we could do a little pop of color, we have something like this. And then also super easy to read, hopefully a little bit of color, but also just making sure that everybody knows really quickly where, what time, and what it is. And knowing that you'll have the alert as your companion piece, right? If you're like, oh, I don't remember what this World Concerns is. Let me read more. Oh, it's an amazing speaker. He's from Utah. There's places to get more information, right? This is a place you've got a minute in the elevator, you're talking to your friends, you can take a glance. Oh, this is what I want to do. I have some next steps. So when you leave here today, I have the new concepts outside to the right in the Fireside Lounge. with, it's going to be a very, very official polling method. I have gold stars. So as you are walking by, if you like the concepts or if you have a preferred concept, stick a gold star on the concept. And based on that, we'll kind of produce an updated version. Working with the facilities team on exactly when this would take effect. Probably, I'm hoping for next weekend, but we do need to get the old signs out and clean them up. I've already gotten feedback from a lot of folks as word of this has gone out. I am open to talk to anybody. You're welcome to stop by my desk. You're welcome to call me. I said the only feedback I can't take is we're going to keep them the way they are. So it has to be a change. They have to be durable. We have to reduce paper. We have to hit all the things. But I do want this to be a workable communication tool for everybody. Just to remind you too, if you don't want to come and talk to me, but you have something to say, on HH Connect, there is this suggestions for success form. And so you can give me your thoughts and opinions there. How's everybody feeling? All right. Phew. All right. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to come and see me. Or Tammy, who's really great at answering questions. Come on up. From where? Oh, I'll come and see you. Let's let Tammy go.
People of our age. Lists are what they have in other retirement communities that don't have what we are offering. I think that having single event signs have made it possible for people to be reminded of what they have seen in the alert and then go. If they are faced with a list, things do not pop out the way they do in a single event thing. We are faced with a very large number of changes right now. Admittedly, there are areas where it really makes a difference to save paper. Is this really one of them?
It is a great question, and I will say it's more than the paper and the toner and the cost is one. So we have other ways. So we do have the alert, right, where things are really fully described. We also have the digital signage, where you'll still have kind of the color presentation. No, the digital sign kind of rotates through with different things as they're happening with a more compelling design structure. We can talk about, I would love for you to come and talk to me, and if anybody else has concerns about the list format. Okay. Okay. All right. I will note that feedback. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. Let me let Tammy go.
I think for the sake of time, if you have further thoughts or questions, just for the sake of time, we'll kind of move on, but you can always reach Amanda at her office. Okay? All right. Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for telling me to hold it closer. I appreciate that. My name is Tammy. I am the social services coordinator here. I've been here I'm coming up on 3 months now, and I've been able to meet so many of you in the community, at different activities, at different committee meetings, and I just thank you all for welcoming me so warmly to Horizon House. I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of just briefly explain my role here, and if you have further questions, you can come see me at my office. I'm down on B1,
Social services coordinator kind of covers a wide variety of things. So I'm just going to point out a few things that have been, bless you, have been helpful so far and ways that I've worked with many of you already. The first would be typically if you're having a planned surgery, it's helpful to meet with me or let me know that you're doing that just so we can make sure you're set up for success when you come back, that you have what you need for a successful recovery, and maybe you don't need anything, but maybe you do, or maybe there's a surprise. Don't we all love surprises? So yes, that helps. Recovery is important, and we just want to make sure you have what you need. I've worked with several couples where one is the primary caregiver for a spouse or a loved one, and while we want to make sure that that person also has the resources they need, we want to make sure the caregiver does as well. That's a huge role, and I want to make sure that you have resources that you both need and that you're getting respite when you need it. So meeting with couples, or if you come solo and need a little support, I am there and we can kind of work through that, talk through that. I also work closely with home care agencies. Many of you are likely familiar with that, but there's several resources of home care agencies. Those are a great option to keep you safe and thriving in your independent apartment. Can't hear me? What are home care agencies? Oh, great question. Sorry. Home care agencies are, thank you, Norm, are support systems set up where people can come in to your home and help with quick little things, taking out the trash, really light housekeeping, those annoying, compression stockings that can be so challenging to get on solo. They can also spend more time with you with meal prep or a little further housekeeping or taking walks out in the community if that feels a little intimidating to do solo. They can also just kind of be there. I like to say sometimes they're just an insurance. They're there just in case we need them. Of course, we hope we don't, but sometimes we do, and it's not always predictable. So that's home care agencies. Several work in the community, and if you have specific questions or wonder if they can reach a need for you, come see me and we can talk about that. I'm also a representative to you if you have thoughts or observations about neighbors, and you can come to me confidentially and we can talk about what you might be seeing and if there's further work that can be done. I want to meet people where they're at sensitively and, again, confidentially so that we can kind of address what might be a concern. Also, maybe it's not, and we work from there, but you can always come to me and talk to me about that. And then lastly, you have some amazing resources here for how to get your ducks in a row. I just love that title, about how to make sure that your paperwork, your power of attorney paperwork, and your executor paperwork is all in order. But that last step is making sure Horizon House has it. So that's something that I try to work with new move-ins about. And then also, if you've been here a while, maybe you don't know if that paperwork is in. I encourage you to stop by my office and we can see if it is. It's helpful for Horizon House that we know who to contact should something happen, or you can't speak for yourself for some reason when something does happen. But it's also, it's a gift to your family that they don't have to try and figure all of that out in a time of stress. So if you're unsure if that's in, or you have it and it's not turned in, come see me. I look forward to meeting everyone. And I'm down on B1. I try to keep my door open and wave to so many of you as you pass through your activities and the pool and the gym. But yes, if that's not you, come on down and say hello. So thank you again. Okay. Who should I pass this mic to? Oh, Eli. You just wanted your grand entrance. I know it.
Along with Lauren Charbonneau, everyone. So for those of you who do not know Lauren, she's our construction liaison. She is the person who She's really the in-between of whether it's staff and our construction projects or residents and construction projects. Lauren is the one who makes it all happen. So getting started on our updates. As you know, we're finishing up the second floor activity room, or actually the activity room is complete. Oops, sorry. Which looks like that. There's also a care conference room that we recently completed. This is all on the second floor, so if you haven't had a chance to go up there, I highly encourage you to walk by and take in the beauty of these recently completed construction projects. This is a break room and also for the staff up there, as well as a little training nook for the staff, and also the assisted living offices.
So these are the assisted living offices. They just moved in as of last Friday, so go ahead and give Brittany or May, Marcia, Bonnie a visit up there. This is an example of what the new offices look like in their new corridor. And the second phase of the second floor offices project, that is executive row. That'll be moving from first floor up to the second floor. This is an example of what the new waiting area will look like. If you're going to meet with Lori or Erica, Beth, you can go ahead and take a seat here. And this is a rendering, what it will look like on the right-hand side, and then the new corridor.
So the photo in the middle is what it looks like now, so we're not quite ready. In case people hear only half of what Lauren said, don't go up there now to wait for Erica. Wait till after it's complete, but which will be by the end of March. Yeah. Again, the one on the left is the rendering. In the middle is what it looks like so far. So we're really close.
And then this is a rendering of what the accounting offices will look like. And on the right, that is currently what it looks like now. They will be moving up there at the end of March.
Yeah, and then this is our famous comment box. Thank you all for who use it. It's located right outside Brian Holtz's office on, B1. And let's see. Okay, so future projects, we are still planning for the University Cafe to begin this summer, mid-2026. The terrace dining room, after the University Cafe is complete and it can be used for our food service needs, it'll allow us to then take the dining room offline to give that a little refresh. And then further on down the road in 2029 will be the remodeling of the lobby, the main lobby. All right, we do have an upcoming presentation. This will be in April. So just like we had, was it last month, where Anderson Construction came in and gave you a status update of the project of the demolition. Our next one is scheduled for April 7th in this room at 10:30 a.m. All right, and speaking of the West Tower demolition, these are some of the photos we've been taking. The one on the left shows, we're standing on the sidewalk and that new wall is there for your safety. And they even put in these acrylic windows so that you can keep an eye on the construction. I thought that was very kind of and thoughtful, very thoughtful of Anderson. And also, this is the two pictures to the right show, sort of a front row seat of the demolition. So if you were to go into the Freeway Park, you would have this type of direct view, which I think is great. Okay, so FIA, First Hill Improvement Association. Today is the last Friday of the month, which means that we have a First Hill happy hour, and this time it's at A Pizza Mart, just around the corner. Hope to see all of you there. And then If I also encourage all of you to participate and become more active in our neighborhood organization. And one of the ways you can do that is join a committee, such as the Transportation Committee. There's a couple of Horizon House residents who attend that, as well as the Urban Design and Public Spaces meeting. And then last night was our inaugural committee meeting for the for Clean, Healthy, Safe. Clean, Healthy, Safe Committee. It's a committee dedicated to let's get the neighborhood clean, healthy, and safe. Yes. And of course, you can also join and become a member. That's another great way to participate. You'll obviously receive the newsletter, and if you are an existing FIA member and you refer somebody who becomes a member, you'll be given a free tote, this free tote. So, yes. So, yay. All right. So, with that being said, I will turn you over to Brian Holtz.
Thank you. The culture team was talking about collaboration, and Amanda was talking about changes. And I went through the change long ago with the elevator signage and went through the same steps she did and collaborated with you residents and others on it. So since collaboration was something we're talking about, I applaud Amanda for going through that in the example of the collaboration that she did to get us to a new solution. So I wanted to go over some reminders that we have at Horizon House that we do periodically about just a reminder about safety and security, and that all of our exterior doors are locked, so make sure you have your key card with you when you go for a walk or you're going to want to come back into the community. We do have security officers here at Horizon House. We have one officer that we plan for every single day. We have an officer on what we call evening shift that is here every day. Our full-time one has been on leave, but we anticipate that officer being back soon. And then we have 3 officers here every night while we're tucked away and I'm in my jammies. We have 3 officers here making sure that it's safe. And these officers also patrol the church that you're aware that we have storage over there and staff parking. You may be aware that we have surveillance cameras. We have about 45 cameras on campus, and they are predominantly at our perimeter doors so that we can keep an eye on those doors for our staff and your safety. They're at high traffic areas and garages and all of our perimeter doors. The other thing that we have is you and our staff. We have hundreds and hundreds of eyes keeping an eye on the campus, and we ask that you continue to do that because you are not shy about coming to us if you see or hear of something. This is a perfect example to keep that up. If you see something that doesn't seem right, let us know. The easiest is to let the reception center know because Amanda's team knows exactly what to do if you come to them and tell them that something doesn't seem right. And as a reminder, we want you at the main entrance to please use your card key to come in that front door. We want to make sure that the staff don't just push the button and let you or others in. We want the practice of staff and residents using your key to unlock the door. In that way, we're ensuring that people coming through that door or who should. And if you forget your key and the staff are busy helping one of your neighbors and they may not be looking directly at that main entrance, there is an intercom that you can use or your friends who come to visit are to use to communicate with us at the reception center. Then we have a camera right on an intercom. We can hear who you're here to see if you're a visitor. And that's an extra layer that we have put in a while ago for your safety and all of our staff for the community. As a reminder, if you do forget your key to get back into your apartment, the staff with this new locks you have can open that door remotely. Or we can give you a temporary key at the reception center and we ask that you just bring that back. What's also very important, if you ever do lose your key, let us know right away because we want to deactivate that key if it accidentally falls in the wrong hands. So, and of course our keys, we don't put Horizon House and our address on it in case somebody drops it on the sidewalk. But just let us know and we'll make sure that we do that. So for all the entrances when you come in and out, be aware if somebody wants to follow you in and tailgate you in. That has happened before, and you let us know if that happens. This door right over here, the Terry door by Myrtle Edwards' room in the library that has that ADA paddle on it, it will stay open for a period of time to help those of us with a mobility device or need that extra time. We ask that, and we ask staff and vendors and contractors to wait until that door closes before we move on. And again, at the main entrance, those doors are on motion sensors. So as we all know, when we leave, we approach, the motion sensor sees us or detects us coming to the door and it opens. If those doors aren't fully closed and somebody's approaching from the outside, they will still open because the motion sensor is picking up somebody approaching before they're fully closed for safety reasons. So we raise our awareness. The reception center security team at the front desk is fully aware of that feature, but it's always good to remind all of us about that. In our garage entrances, we now have valet staff at both locations, but it's a reminder before we drive off that we're mindful that somebody doesn't want to come in while we're trying to drive away or as we pull in. And then for your apartment, we like to remind you all to keep your door closed. Heaven forbid somebody gets in the building and they're up on the floor where you live and your door's not fully secured. That creates a situation where the person could get into the apartment, and so we always encourage folks to do that. We also have at our three main entries of the loading dock where our vendors and some staff come in, and at University Garage where we now still have guests and visitors, and at the reception center our visitor management system kiosks. And it's a reminder that we want our guests and visitors to use that, and then they have a adhesive badge so that we can see that that individual signed in and they're supposed to be here, and that we also have a way to track folks that are in by using that system. So you can remind your guests and visitors that we encourage them to continue to use that. Shifting gears, we have our car share program as a reminder to give that an opportunity for you, and that it is our vehicle for your use only, and it is that Ioniq 5 that we got. And if you're curious to check it out more, we can do ride-alongs. And we have Brian Byers and the ZEV representative will be here after the Fireside chat out in the Fireside Lounge to answer any questions you have, and you can sign up when you meet with them as well. And the last thing I was going to mention is, because it's what is happening with our ability to watch Mariners on TV. So there has been a change, and as much as we've had frustration with Xfinity, this has nothing to do with Xfinity. This has to do with Major League Baseball teams now are shifting to streaming their games, and the Mariners have elected to do that for this season and most likely going forward, and it's called Mariner TV. I have been in numerous conversations with Xfinity to get a clearer understanding on, we have a bulk package for all of you. Does that mean there's a discount for you if you get Mariners TV? They don't know. They don't think so, because it has nothing to do with them. It has to do with Major League Baseball. I've asked about, is the payment going through Xfinity or is it 100% separate? They still haven't been told, but we anticipate hearing more in a few weeks. What we do know, that if you want to purchase the full season, like I'm going to need to now, I have my name tag that fell, but I have my logo right here, Mariners I'm wearing. It's going to cost $100 a season. So that comes out to about $6.67 a game. And then the price will go down when we make the playoffs if we do the math. And so it's they call it a discount for that, and then it's $19.99 a month. So once I hear more from Xfinity, if there's any discount or anything that can happen, I will let you know. At $99 a household, I am not confident Horizon House will add that to your bulk package. To be fully transparent, if you could do the math on that cost. We wish we could. However, A, we don't think everybody wants it, and B, it's too cost prohibitive for us to look at that. I asked, what would it cost just to check? They still don't even know. So that's the update on Mariners TV. I will share more when I have more definitive answers, which will hopefully be soon because first games get going towards the end of March. Question. I have not heard or seen if Major League Baseball will, I'm looking for my name tag, will give a senior discount. I will add that to my inquiries. They certainly should. I might qualify. I would like that. With that, I'm turning it over to Monday Market, and I'll talk about collaboration that I worked with the co-chairs and collaborated with them to get ready up on the 3rd floor, and was wonderful to work with them. They are fantastic. Good job. That's for you two, not me.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. And thank you for all your collaboration. So, let me put on my glasses here. We are presenting today because the market has reopened in February, so this is our first time to be able to talk at the this month and to introduce you to the new market. Now, I know many of you have already been there, and we appreciate that. But we thought we would just go through sort of the basics and explain what's happening now. Let's see, let me get this little guy here. Oh. There we go. So this is a shot of the cashier's area. And, you know, this is right, as you probably know, across from the elevator. So you get out of the elevator, and this is what you would see. And then down the hallway are all of the rooms where the various sections of the market exist. So we are now accepting donations, so whether that be in one of the bins, in the mailroom, or back by the North Tower elevators, or upstairs. The household item bin is in room 343, and the clothing area bin is way in the back by room 350. So let's see. We collect from the bins 10 o'clock in the morning and at 4 in the afternoon. So those are the times by which you should have your things in the bin if you want to have them speedily put on sale. So the clothing area, which I'm going to talk about first, has 4 designated rooms. This is one of them. This is the women's room, and then we have pants, blouses, sweaters, jackets, coats, sleepwear, and then periodically there will be something that's featured that's on either on sale or that it's something new. So we have new items designated. There's also the men's department: pants, shirts, sweaters, jackets, shoes, ties, lots of ties, belts, and we have people monitoring each of those areas on Mondays and hopefully helping you with any questions you have, telling you how nice you look in that item, etc. And then there's also the accessories room, women's accessories predominantly, where there's jewelry, scarves, purses, workout clothes, bathing suits, undergarments, hats, a wide variety of things. So, now this is an example of the workroom for Elizabeth's area for the household items. But I did want to just say about the workroom, I didn't take a picture of the workroom for clothing because that's all it is clothing. I mean, and it's not nearly this neat. So in the workroom for clothing, we inspect the items, we launder the items, ironing gets done, pricing gets done, and then they are displayed or stored for next season. And various volunteers help on the days that we are processing items. So that's in clothing, we do the processing on Tuesday and Thursday from 1 to 3 in the afternoon, and then on Saturdays from 10 until 12. So if you have items that you are questioning whether they would be donated, you might come up at those hours and we can go over them together. But the volunteers are there at that time and helping with all of these tasks. We also have the volunteers on Mondays, so staffing each of the rooms. So I think that leads us to Elizabeth's areas.
Okay, we chose this room, which is the furniture room, because it's a little larger than some of the others, and it's one of our main money makers at the market. And so we need a little more space, and because we have to be sure there's room enough for people to walk around the room with their walkers and their wheelchairs. So you won't see a lot of items in the room, but we still need donations. In the next room, which is our electronics room, we know that the men like to come. Because, you know, it includes everything from earbuds to vacuum cleaners. But it also displays necessaries for the home, such as pots and pans and dishware, kitchen appliances, and coat hangers, believe it or not, which are one of our biggest sellers. Okay, the next room is our office supplies room, we call it. And this room contains some of our most popular items, such as office supplies, but also travel containers of all types, greeting cards, postcards, and almost everyone stops here because almost everyone can use these items at almost any time in any home, right? Okay, the next one is our, well, I guess I don't have a picture of it, sorry, but it's the workroom that you saw at the beginning. That's the workroom that my group uses. And it's a favorite place for our staff, as we call it, or our volunteer processors to work. They've built in several counters for us, and we actually have about 14 members who use that room throughout the week, believe it or not, on our teams. And they come to work on Wednesdays and Fridays from 1 to 3. And so this is where the processing begins. And they make decisions about what we're going to sell and what we're not going to sell. And they make decisions about where these things will be placed, displayed. And because of our limited space, they decide if something should be replaced that's already been displayed so that there's room for the donations that are being added each day, so that there's a very frequent moving in and out in these small quarters of the inventory. And I believe that's one of the key items that you need to consider in good marketing. One could actually describe our new situation as the bedroom boutique, because it's made up of 8 bedrooms, which were formerly in the AL section. Brian Holtz, I bet he left, but I wanted him to hear this, had been the leader in moving us into these new quarters. And he has worked with us over several months, and I think he deserves a great big thank you. Yeah. And as Jennifer said, we welcome all of you to come. We know many of you have not yet been there, and we want you to continue to donate, to visit, and to, what was that other word I was saying? Shop. That's it, folks.
Thank you, Jennifer and Elizabeth. All right, so we are going to wrap up with just sharing our occupancy with you. We are not at our budgeted occupancy right now for assisted living or independent living, but we're very close. Valerie shared some wonderful units that we have ready to go right now, so please feel free to share those with your friends. And we're at 153 West Tower deposits. So again, this is what our occupancy looks like through all of Horizon House. Again, we want to make sure that we are staying, that 97 or above in independent living and assisted living, and we need your help. All right. I will be out of the office at a conference next week. I feel terrible because I just got back because I got stuck in New England in the blizzard. And Beth is enjoying the beaches of Hawaii, so she'll be back on the 9th. We have Facilities Fridays today, and I know many of you have asked about HVAC, so today there's like a general topic, so this is a great opportunity to ask Mark about the HVAC at Horizon House, and so we'll have that in just a few minutes. I want to share some bright spots. We had a wonderful groundbreaking. There are lots of wonderful photos that you can see here and that's also on social media. And then now I want to share a wonderful video that was put together by our very own Mark Munden. You going to play it?
Hey, Risa, can you, is the audio source up by chance? Is there audio in the beginning, Mark? Okay. I don't know where the audio is going. Give us 1 second. Sorry, guys.
To the rescue.
We might need to skip it, but we can play it after if you would like to.
Okay.
Maybe if during the facility. Try to.
All
We'll see
right.
if we can get it working after that point, so we don't hold you guys up. So.
All right. It'll play or no? Okay. All right. So we will make sure that you get a chance to see this video. We'll get it posted. But that is all that we have. If there are any questions that people have, I'll kind of hang around for just a few minutes if people have any questions. If not, please enjoy the rest of today. Go ahead, Emery.
There was a lot of talk about the safety of the doors being open and closed, and the lobby door stays open most of the day. They're stuck all the time, freezing cold in there. I really feel badly for the staff that has to sit there all day while those doors are open. Is there any way that we can get that fixed?
We have a contractor that is aware of the issue. There are several issues that they're working on to remedy that issue. We know it's can be troubling to residents and to our staff, but we're aware of that, and they'll be out to fix that as soon as possible.
I know there's a plan in case ICE shows up. What is the plan?
So we will definitely share the plan, but it really starts at our front desk. We'll find a place to post it, but our front desk will go into action. You know, ICE, they're not, unless they have a warrant to go to a specific place, they cannot enter through our building. They can only enter the lobby and, you know, the public space. But we do have a plan of action, and we will share it, and we're working on even more planning, so we will keep you posted.
A couple of us are working on having these little flyers about what you can do if you see ICE in action. And they come with a whistle, but most importantly, the information. And we're going to be having a little work party here at Horizon House for people who would like to put these together. So keep your eyes open. And that would be for residents, of course, but I'd also like to make sure that all of the staff have access to this if they would like it.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
If anyone wants to stick around, we will be trying to play the Black History as American History video right after this, so just give us a few minutes.